I've always wondered about the Trinity.
Depends on who you ask. We don't completely understand the Trinity. We can apprehend the Trinity even if we can't completely comprehend the Trinity. In fact, just like you can apprehend there's an ocean in front of you, even if you can't completely comprehend everything in that ocean. In other words, our knowledge is limited. And if you think about this, it would be strange if an infinite God wasn't strange to us. But there's no perfect illustration of the Trinity or way to explain the Trinity, but I'll do my best here. This is from my mentor, Dr. Norman Geisler. He said, imagine that there is a triangle. You have one triangle, but three sides, three corners to the triangle. So you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. You have these persons of the Godhead share one divine nature. So there's one God with three persons in this Godhead. Jesus, however, has a human nature that's separate from the divine nature. Here's one person with two natures, okay? When Jesus came to earth, this nature was created about 2,000 or so years ago. That nature didn't exist prior to Jesus coming to earth. And this, by the way, solves some problems, because sometimes people will say, well, how could Jesus be God if he didn't know when he was coming back? Doesn't God know all things? Or how could Jesus be God when he got tired? How can God get tired? Or how could Jesus be God if he died, right? These are all questions you go, yeah, well, how could Jesus be God if all those questions were asked of him and he's God? Because whenever you ask a question about Jesus, you always have to ask two questions because he had two natures. Did Jesus know when he was coming back? As man, no. As God, yes. Did Jesus get tired? As man, yes. As God, no. Did Jesus die? As man, yes. As God, no. In fact, for me, the Trinity solves a lot of problems because how could God be eternally loving prior to creation if there's no one to love? But in the Trinity, you've got a lover, a loved one, and a spirit of love from all eternity. This is why God is viewed as loving by Christians.